Have you ever tried to hold water in your hands? The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. This is the fundamental nature of our experience. We spend our lives building castles on the sand, knowing the tide will inevitably come. We grasp for moments, for people, for feelings, only to feel the ache of their passing. This struggle is not a personal failure. It is the human condition. But within this truth lies a profound secret, a path not to stop the tide, but to learn how to build a boat. We are born into a world of sensation, a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and feelings. From our first breath, we begin to form connections. The warmth of a mother's embrace becomes a symbol of safety. The sweetness of a fruit becomes a memory of pleasure. The sting of a fall becomes a lesson in caution. This is natural. It is how we learn to navigate our world. But somewhere along the way, this simple process of connection begins to harden. It crystallizes into something else, something heavier. Attachment. It starts subtly. We don't just enjoy the sunset. We crave the feeling it gives us. We fear the day it might be obscured by clouds. We don't just love a person. We begin to depend on their presence for our own sense of completeness. Their absence feels like a part of us has been amputated. This is the root of so much of our quiet suffering, the low hum of anxiety that follows us through our days, the fear of losing what we have, the grief for what we've already lost, the desperate, exhausting effort of holding everything together. We tell ourselves stories. If I just get this promotion, I will be secure. If I can just keep this relationship perfect, I will be happy. If I can hold on to my youth, my health, my status, I will be safe. These stories become the architecture of our inner prison. Each attachment is a bar on the window, each expectation a lock on the door. We become curators of a museum of memories and future fantasies, instead of inhabitants of our own present life. We cling to the photograph of the flower, long after the blossom has returned to the earth. We replay the melody of a beautiful song in our minds, fearing we will never hear anything so sweet again. This clinging, this desperate grasp, is not love. It is fear disguised as love. It is the fear of the void, the fear of emptiness, the fear of change. We believe our attachments define us, that our collection of relationships, possessions, and accomplishments are the sum of who we are. So we guard them fiercely. We polish our trophies. We mend our fences. We tighten our grip. But the universe does not bargain. The river of time flows in only one direction, and everything we hold so dear is sitting on its banks. The more we resist this flow, the more we suffer. It's like standing in a powerful current, trying to remain perfectly still. The effort is immense. The strain is constant, and the outcome is inevitable. The water will move you. The pain we feel is not the pain of loss itself. It is the pain of resistance, the friction between our desire for permanence and the relentless reality of a world that is anything but. This is the fundamental dissonance, the deep, internal conflict that generates the heat of our discontent. We are trying to nail a shadow to the floor, and the effort is breaking our hearts. There is an ancient Pali word that sits at the very heart of the Buddhist understanding of existence. The word is times anicca *. It is often translated as impermanence, but this translation can be misleading. It can sound sad or nihilistic. Anicca times is not a judgment. It is not a declaration that life is meaningless or tragic. It is simply a description of reality. Like the law of gravity, it is a fundamental principle of the cosmos. Everything changes. Everything is in a constant state of flux. Nothing is static. The mountain you see from your window seems eternal, solid, unchanging, but it is not. Wind and rain are wearing it down, grain by grain. Tectonic plates are shifting beneath it, inch by inch over millennia. It is a process, not a fixed object. The mighty oak tree in the park. It was once a tiny acorn. It grew, branch by branch, ring by ring. One day, its leaves will fall for the last time, and its wood will return to the soil to nourish new life. It is a flowing dance of energy, not a permanent statue. And what of you? Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? 5 years ago? Yesterday? Your cells are constantly dying and being replaced. Your thoughts are a ceaseless river, flowing through your awareness. Your emotions rise and fall like waves on the ocean. The person who started listening to these words is already subtly different from the person who is hearing them now. You are not a noun. You are a verb, a process of becoming. Asterisk in Nietzsche times is not a distant philosophical concept. It is the most intimate truth of your own experience. It is the breath entering and leaving your body. Right now. It is the sound that arises and then fades into silence. It is the feeling of warmth on your skin that dissipates. The world is not a collection of things. It is a symphony of events. And this is where our suffering finds its true source. We suffer because we try to grasp the ungraspable. We try to freeze the river. We fall in love with one particular frame of the movie. And we try to stop the projector. We build a dam of expectations. And we are surprised when the pressure of reality eventually breaks it. The pain of a breakup is not caused by the ending of the relationship. It is caused by our attachment to the idea that it would last forever. The anxiety about aging is not caused by the changing of our bodies. It is caused by our attachment to the idea of a permanent youth. The stress of a changing career is not caused by the change itself. It is caused by our attachment to a fixed identity and a predictable future. Understanding times, anicca times, is the first step toward freedom. It is not about becoming cold or detached in a negative sense. It is about aligning ourselves with the truth. It is about learning to dance with the rhythm of reality, instead of fighting against it. It is to see the beauty not just in the blossom, but in the entire cycle of seed, sprout, bloom, and decay. It is to understand that the wave is beautiful because it rises and falls. A permanent, frozen wave is not a wave at all. It is just ice. True peace, asterisk, Bing and Trong Tam Hon asterisk, begins when we stop demanding that reality be something other than what it is. How does this attachment actually take root in the mind? What is the mechanism that transforms a simple preference into a source of profound suffering? The process begins with perception. An object, a person, or a situation appears in our field of awareness. Immediately, the mind assigns it a label: good, bad, neutral, pleasant, unpleasant, wanted, unwanted. This is a survival mechanism, and it is not inherently a problem. The problem begins with the next step: the story. If the object is labeled pleasant, the mind immediately begins to construct a narrative. This feeling is wonderful. I need more of this feeling. My happiness depends on this. A simple sensation is now burdened with the weight of our entire well-being. We project a future onto it. We imagine our life with this thing, this person, this status, and we decide that this imagined future is the key to our salvation from unease. This is the birth of craving. Conversely, if the object is labeled unpleasant, the mind constructs a story of aversion. This feeling is terrible. I must get away from it. My peace is being threatened. This is the birth of aversion, which is simply the flip side of attachment. It is attachment to the state of times, not times having something. In both cases, we are no longer experiencing reality as it is. We are experiencing our time's story about time's reality. The Zen tradition speaks of the second arrow. The first arrow is the actual event, the painful sensation, the loss, the criticism. It happens. It is unavoidable. The second arrow is the one we shoot into ourselves. It is the story we tell about the first arrow. Why did this happen to me? This is unfair. This proves I am a failure. My life is ruined now. It is this second arrow, this mental proliferation, that causes the majority of our suffering. The mind creates a sense of me and mine. This car is not just a car. It is my time's car. Its dent is a personal affront. This opinion is not just an idea. It is my time's opinion. An attack on the idea is an attack on time's me, asterisk. This relationship is not just a connection. It is my time's relationship. Its dissolution threatens my very identity. This self, this I, that we work so hard to build and defend, is itself a mental construct. It is a collection of memories, beliefs, and sensations that we have bundled together and given a name. And this constructed self is terrified of dissolving, so it latches onto external things to solidify its own existence. It uses possessions, relationships, and achievements as buttresses to prop itself up. I am the person who owns this house. I am the person who is loved by this individual. I am the person who achieved this success. Attachment, then, is not just about wanting things. It is a desperate attempt by a fragile sense of self to find permanence in an impermanent world. It is trying to build a solid identity out of shifting sand. This is why letting go feels so terrifying. It doesn't just feel like we are losing a thing. It feels like we are losing a piece of ourselves. The mind fights it with all its power. Because from its perspective, it is a matter of life and death. But this is a profound illusion. You are not your possessions. You are not your job title. You are not your relationships. You are the awareness in which all of these things appear and disappear. Understanding this mechanism is the beginning of wisdom. Asterisk, tui tue, asterisk. It is to watch the mind as it labels, as it tells its stories, as it tries to build its nest in the branches of a fleeting world. What are the precise consequences of living in this state of attachment? How does it erode our inner life, our potential for strength and peace? The most immediate consequence is the death of the present moment. When the mind is attached, it is never truly where the body is. It is either in the past, reliving a pleasure or grieving a loss, or it is in the future, scheming to acquire something or anxiously trying to prevent its departure. The present moment, the only place where life is actually happening, becomes a mere stepping stone. It's a means to an end, a bridge to a future happiness that never quite arrives. We drink the coffee, but we are thinking about the meeting. We are at the meeting, but we are thinking about the weekend. We are at the weekend, but we are worrying about Monday. Life becomes a series of missed appointments with reality. This constant mental time travel is profoundly exhausting. It drains our vital energy, our time's noi luk, asterisk, or inner strength. Imagine trying to run a marathon while carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each attachment is a rock. The attachment to a past insult is a rock. The attachment to a specific outcome for your career is a rock. The attachment to being seen in a certain way by others is a rock. We carry this immense weight everywhere we go, and we wonder why we feel so tired, so brittle, so easily overwhelmed by the challenges of life. True inner strength comes from being grounded in the present. It comes from having your energy available to you right here, right now, not scattered across the landscape of yesterday and tomorrow. Furthermore, attachment systematically clouds our wisdom. It distorts our perception of reality. Like looking through a warped lens, we no longer see things as they are. We see them through the filter of our desires and fears. When we are attached to a person, we may overlook their flaws or toxic behaviors because the thought of losing them is too painful. When we are attached to a belief, we will dismiss any evidence that contradicts it, closing our minds to growth and learning. We make poor decisions because our choices are driven not by clear seeing, but by the need to protect and feed our attachments. This prevents the arising of true wisdom. Asterisk, tui tue, asterisk. Wisdom is the ability to see the interconnectedness of things, to understand cause and effect, to act with clarity and compassion. Attachment blinds us to this. It creates a tunnel vision focused solely on me and mine. And finally, perhaps most importantly, attachment is the enemy of inner peace. Peace, asterisk, binhan trong tam hone, asterisk, is not a state of having everything you want. If it were, the wealthiest and most successful people would be the most peaceful, and we know this is often not the case. Inner peace is a state of non-resistance to what is. It is the spaciousness that opens up when you are no longer at war with reality. Attachment is a declaration of war. It says, "This moment is not good enough. It needs to be different. I need that. I must not lose this." This is a state of constant, low-grade conflict. It manifests as anxiety, worry, jealousy, envy, and a sense of perpetual dissatisfaction. The mind becomes a turbulent sea, always churning. There can be no peace in such a mind. The moments of happiness we do experience are fragile and fleeting because they are conditional. They depend entirely on external circumstances remaining exactly as we want them to. And because the nature of the universe is times anicca asterisk, this is an impossible condition to maintain. So our happiness is always shadowed by the fear of its own demise. It is a happiness built on a foundation of anxiety. This is the heavy price we pay for our attachments. We trade the possibility of profound, unconditional peace for the fleeting, conditional pleasure of holding on to things that can never truly be held. But there is a voice that protests, a voice of fear that rises from deep within us. It asks a very reasonable question. If I let go of attachment, will I not become cold, apathetic, indifferent? If I do not cling to the people I love, does that mean I do not truly love them? If I release my attachment to my passions, my art, my work, will I lose my drive, my creative fire? This is a profound misunderstanding of the path, and it is perhaps the single greatest barrier that prevents us from seeking our own freedom. We have been taught to equate the intensity of our clinging with the depth of our love. We believe that the pain we would feel at a person's loss is the very measure of our affection for them. The more we worry, the more we grasp, the more we need them for our own happiness, the more we think we love. But this is not love. It is a form of hunger. It is a love that is conditional. A love that says, I love you because of how you make me feel. I love you because you fill a void within me. Please, do not ever change or leave, because I cannot bear the emptiness you would leave behind. This is a love burdened with fear. True love, a love born of wisdom and an open heart, is radically different. It is unconditional. It says, I wish for your happiness, whether it includes me or not. It is a love that holds with an open palm, not a clenched fist. Imagine you are holding a small, beautiful bird. If you clench your fist around it, afraid it will fly away, you will crush it. You will destroy the very thing you wish to keep. This is the love of attachment. If you let go of your love for the bird and open your hand with indifference, it will simply fly away, and the connection is lost. But there is a third way: to hold your hand open, palm upturned. You offer your warmth, your presence, your care, but you do not imprison the bird. It is free to stay or to go, and if it stays, it is because it chooses to, not because it is caged. This is non-attached love. It is a love that is more spacious, more courageous, and infinitely more beautiful. It celebrates the freedom of the other, rather than seeking to limit it for our own security. The same is true for our passions. The artist who is attached to praise will create from a place of fear. They will be afraid to take risks, to innovate, to speak their truth. For fear of negative reviews, their art will be timid. But the artist who is engaged in the process times of creation, who finds joy in the simple act of putting paint on canvas, of shaping clay, of forming a sentence, is free. Their passion is for the work itself, not for the fruits of the work. This is passionate engagement, without the anxiety of attachment. It is the difference between a musician playing for applause and a musician who gets lost in the music. Letting go of attachment is not the end of feeling. It is the beginning of feeling truly. It is to feel love without the poison of fear, to feel joy without the shadow of its passing, to feel sorrow without the second arrow of despair. It is to become fully human, fully alive, engaged with the world in a more profound and authentic way. The practical mind then poses its next challenge. This sounds noble in theory, but I live in the real world. How can I succeed, or even just survive, without goals, without ambition? Don't I need to be attached to my goals to achieve them? Doesn't my desire for a better future fuel my efforts today? This line of questioning reveals another subtle but crucial distinction: the difference between intention and attachment. To walk this path is not to become a rudderless ship, drifting aimlessly on the sea of life. It is not about abandoning your goals, your dreams, or your responsibilities. In fact, it is about pursuing them more effectively and with far less inner turmoil. Let us imagine an archer. A foolish archer is attached only to the outcome. Her entire sense of self-worth is tied to whether the arrow hits the absolute center of the target. As she draws the bow, her hands tremble with anxiety. Her mind is filled with thoughts of failure and humiliation, or fantasies of victory and praise. Her focus is not on the present action, but on a future result. Because of this inner turbulence, her aim is unsteady. Her release is clumsy. She is more likely to miss the target altogether. And if she does miss, she is crushed. The failure becomes a deep personal wound. Now, consider a wise archer. The wise archer also has a clear intention: to shoot the arrow skillfully, to send it true towards the target. But she is not attached to the outcome. She knows that once the arrow leaves the bow, it is subject to forces beyond her control. A sudden gust of wind, an unseen imperfection in the arrow's fletching. So she places her entire focus, all of her being, into the process. She focuses on her stance, grounded and stable. She focuses on her breath, slow and steady. She focuses on the feeling of the bowstring, the tension in her muscles. Her mind is calm, present, and clear. She performs the action with total mindfulness and dedication. She releases the arrow, and then she lets go. Her satisfaction comes from the quality of her action, not from the landing place of the arrow. If it hits the bullseye, she acknowledges it with quiet joy. If it misses, she acknowledges it with quiet acceptance and learns from it for the next shot. She is not emotionally devastated by failure, nor is she inflated by success. This is the art of setting a direction without being chained to the destination. You can have the intention to build a successful business while letting go of attachment to becoming a billionaire. You can have the intention to be a loving partner while letting go of the need for your partner to behave in a specific way. You can have the intention to live a healthy life while accepting the reality of an aging body. This approach builds immense inner strength. ***. You become resilient. Your peace of mind is no longer held hostage by external events. You are free to act with courage and integrity because you are not crippled by the fear of failure. This is not passivity. It is the highest form of intelligent action. So how do we begin to loosen these knots of attachment? How do we translate this profound philosophy into a living practice? It does not begin with a grand gesture of renunciation. You do not need to sell your home or abandon your relationships. The work is much quieter, much closer. It begins with the simple, yet radical, act of paying attention. The practice is mindfulness. It starts with your own breath. For just a few moments, you close your eyes and bring your awareness to the sensation of air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then leaving your body, in and out. This is the first lesson in time's anicca***. Each breath is born. It lives for a moment, and then it dies. You cannot hold on to the in-breath. You must let it go to receive the out-breath. Life is a constant process of release. From the breath, you expand your awareness. You sit and notice the sounds around you. A car passing, a bird singing, the hum of a refrigerator. You notice how each sound arises from silence, exists for a moment, and dissolves back into silence. You do not grasp for the pleasant sounds or push away the unpleasant ones. You simply allow them to be, to come and go within the vast, open space of your awareness. This practice is the training ground for wisdom. ***. You are directly observing the impermanent nature of reality, not as a theory, but as a lived experience. Then, you turn this gentle, non-judgmental attention inward. You watch your thoughts. You see them appear in your mind, seemingly from nowhere. Thoughts of the past, plans for the future, worries, daydreams. The old habit is to grab onto them, to believe them, to identify with them completely. The practice is to see them for what they are, simply transient, mental events, clouds passing through the sky of your mind. You do not have to follow every cloud. You do not have to fight the stormy ones. You can rest as the sky, allowing them to pass. The same is true for emotions. A wave of sadness arises. The old habit is to either be swept away by it or to frantically try to suppress it. The practice is to feel it in the body. Where is the tightness? The heat? The hollowness? You meet the raw sensation with curiosity and kindness. Without the second arrow of the story, you allow the wave to crest and to fall, knowing that it, too, will pass. This is how you cultivate inner strength. Asterisk, Noi look, asterisk. It is the strength to be with your own experience, exactly as it is, without needing to fix it or run from it. With each breath, with each observed sound, with each thought and feeling that you allow to pass without clinging, you are gently untying the knots. You are retraining your mind, moment by moment, to find its home, not in things, but in awareness itself. This is the path to peace. Asterisk bin and trong tom hon asterisk. What kind of life emerges from this practice? What does it feel like to live with open hands? It is not an empty life. It is a life that is profoundly full, because nothing is rejected. When you are no longer desperately seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, you are free to experience the entire spectrum of human existence with a quiet grace. Joy becomes simpler and purer. You can delight in the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of fresh water, a moment of connection with a friend, without the anxious undertone of, "I need this to last." You savor it completely, precisely because you know it is fleeting. Its beauty is in its preciousness, not its permanence. Love becomes more expansive and selfless. When you no longer need others to complete you, you are free to love them for who they are. You become a source of strength and stability for them, a safe harbor, rather than another person demanding that they meet your needs. You can offer your presence, your compassion, and your support, without strings attached. And paradoxically, you become more resilient in the face of pain and loss. When sorrow arrives, and it will, you do not shatter. You have cultivated an inner space that is larger than any single emotion. You can allow grief to move through you, like a storm passing through the sky. You feel it fully. You honor it, but you know that you are not the storm. You are the sky. This practice builds a sanctuary inside of you, a place of deep stillness and silence that is untouched by the chaos of the world. Your sense of security shifts. It is no longer located in your bank account, your job title, your relationships, or your health. All of those things are subject to change. Your security becomes rooted in your own awareness, your own inner strength, your own wisdom. This is the only security that can never be taken from you. You learn to live with a fundamental trust in the flow of life. You still make plans. You still act in the world. But you do so with a new lightness. You dance with the changing currents, rather than fighting them. You see that every ending is also a beginning. The fallen leaf nourishes the soil for a new seed. The end of one chapter makes space for the next to be written. This is not a cold detachment. It is the most intimate and courageous way to engage with life. It is the freedom to participate fully, to love deeply, and to let go gracefully. It is the discovery that the peace you have been seeking in the world outside has been waiting patiently for you. In the quiet stillness of your own heart, the water will always slip through your fingers. The tide will always come for the sandcastle. This is not a tragedy. It is an invitation to stop squeezing, to stop clinging, to stop resisting, an invitation to open your hands, to feel the water for the beautiful, fleeting moment it is with you, and then to let it go, to watch the waves with a calm heart. This is where true freedom is found, not in holding on, but in the courage to let go. The journey begins now, with this single, simple breath.